you a presentation of what is Power Virtual Agent, and there will be two main things in the presentation. So basically, I will introduce you the concept and what are the new features coming into Power Virtual Agent, what are the benefits of the solution, and you will see that there will be multiple demonstrations to show you how to use.
Okay, I thought it was only me. Yep, I lost
Yeah.
audio as well. Let me reach out to Alexis. I think he's aware. Yeah, Alexis, we can't hear you.
Is it better now? I guess it is better
Oh,
now.
yeah, you're back.
Thank you very much for the heads up.
No worries.
All right, we are good to go. I was just doing the introduction, so no worries, you haven't missed anything. So let's start with why conversational AI. So I think that this is not new to you. And so the main reason why we are talking about conversational AI and the main use case is definitely to save people time. And the most typical use case is to answer the most frequently asked questions, so that we can offload this question to a solution that happens to be a conversational bot, and so that all these questions will be answered by the bot and will offload some of this work that are usually done by your internal team. Could it be HR teams, IT teams, financial teams, whatever you may think of. It's really a way to offload these tasks that are rather repetitive, and why we people are asking questions is because they are trying to navigate through the company, and so they need to have a gate where they can ask their question. So it's very common to have service desk that do this job, and so now with conversational AI, not only we provide an interface to facilitate and have this conversation as you would have with a human being. So you can chat with a bot the same way as you chat with a human. And this is even more true today than it used to be in the past, especially with the new AI technology that you have seen and experienced with the generative AI solution that we announce in almost all of our product portfolio. So the objective here and why conversational AI is really to optimize how you provide your service and the information to your employees. And at the end of the day, it's really automating all your processes as much as you can, and offload some of this work that is taking a lot of time to all these teams that have to answer questions from your employees. And so what we observe is that, and this is like a timeline on where we are on conversational AI today. So in the past, we had multiple solutions, and so AI was not as deployed as it is today. And so even building a bot was something that was complex in the past. So basically, we moved progressively over time, even us as a company providing this solution to our customers. At the beginning, we had a very, very technical solution that are still available. You may be aware of the Azure Bot service and the Azure Bot framework. And over time, this solution that was like very the plumbing, so you could design your bot and take each component and build the bot yourself, adding all the components by yourself. This tooling approach has been over time migrated to a more SaaS approach, where now we deliver a bot as a SaaS solution that provide all the features that are basically required to provide a great experience. So the same way as AI has evolved from something that was for techies to something that everyone can do and use now, we are seeing the same motion for conversational bot, where it used to be for only advanced developer, and now anyone can use and build their own bots. So this is becoming a very powerful tool for everyone to use. And so bot and building bot has always been, I wouldn't say has not always been a challenge, but there are always the same challenges that you are facing when building a bot. So one thing that you want to make sure of that when a question is asked to a bot, you always want to provide the same answer. You want to make sure that the information that you provide to the user is up to date. And so you need definitely connectors between the bot and your backend system. So the integration with external system and how to facilitate this integration is a challenge that we need to address. The second thing, which is complex, is how do I understand the query sent by my user? So when you design a system, you will have typically keywords or key phrases, but this is usually not the way people will ask the question. So you need to be prepared to have some sort of language understanding, cognitive services, and ways and capabilities to interface with the end user. Could it be via voice, text, or images, or video, and so on and so forth. So the fact that you need AI in the design of your bot is something that even if you think that you can do without it at the beginning, very fast you need to bring these capabilities in your bot. And the cost is as well a part and a main concern, because if you have to develop that and if you have to implement all these technologies, so how to build a bot, how to build a backend, this connector with backend system, add these AI technologies to make your bot not silly, but really something that people will adopt and like to use. It takes time, it takes resources, skilled resources, and it's a cost. And if you think in terms of where you should host the bot, so a bot is nothing more than an application. Hosting the bot somewhere is also additional cost, and who will operate the bot is also adding additional cost to the solution. So these are all the challenges that we try to, and we cover using PVA with a solution that is, as I said, it's a SaaS platform. So basically it's hosted on the Power Platform and managed by Microsoft. We provide a user interface that makes the authoring of bots easy and something that anyone can do, and not only developers. You know that you can scale the solution securely as the solution is hosted on the Microsoft platform, and you don't have to care about the scalability of the solution. You will typically pay per the number of requests that are sent to the bot, but how you manage the scale is not your concern, it's our. And in terms of security, you know that we provide a list of compliance, and you can benefit from this validation certificates and compliance to build your own services on top of ours. And so Power Virtual Agent is really like the solution that we provide to build conversational bots using the power of the Power Platform. It's really for everyone. So all our customers across all the industries are using Power Virtual Agent, and you can find use cases in all these industries. You have the flexibility to deploy the solution to targeted users. So you have a use case, and then you want to deploy the bot for the customer service, the operation team, HR teams. I mean, you have this flexibility to define who can author the bots, who will be the user of the bots, and what will be the use cases. And you can definitely customize the bot. So you can bring your own brand with your own logo, your own title, and so on and so forth. And the third part is really the connection layer. We see ASAP, GitHub, and many other ones. Obviously, all the Microsoft 365 suite can be connected to Power Virtual Agent, but we really facilitate the integration with this connector. And from a governance perspective, the administrator of the tenant have the flexibility to design and define which connectors are safe or approved and which ones are not, cannot be used within the company. So it's not only a solution that everyone can use it, it's also a solution that has all the management and governance layer that any big enterprise will require. I hear some echo, maybe it's someone jump. Yeah, that's on. Mic is off. So if we look at the life cycle, and so the topic covered by Power Virtual Agent. So basically, we provide templates. And when I say templates, so basically Power Virtual Agent is a kind of empty nutshell with all the components that you need to bring your own content in. So Power Virtual Agent will be how you connect the users to the bot, and the user could be into multiple channels. So they could be in Microsoft Teams, they could be on Skype, they could be on Microsoft 365, but they can also be on Facebook, on Slack, or on Messenger. So this, how to reach this user is something that is provided as part of the framework. And then you have all the business logic. So here is the channel. Then you will define the business logic. So basically, what are the topics and the information that your bot will be able to support. And we provide a nice UI with an authoring canvas so that you can drag and drop and create your messages, answer the question, and define the workflow in an authoring canvas. And then you need to have connectors to connect your bot to external system. And on top of that, we provide monitoring capabilities. Something that you want to know and you need to learn from that is what are the topics and the questions that are the more frequently asked. And you also want to know which are the answers that are performing well or not well, what is the user experience overall. And all this information are collected directly and is part of the solution as well. Again, everything that you see on this screen is something that you would have to build if you had to build your own bot using your own custom solution. And this is provided out of the box with PVA. So now that I've talked a lot and showed slide, I'm offering you a demonstration. So the demonstration is a recording. So it's a 5-minute video that will show you how the authoring canvas work, and we'll do a demonstration of Power Virtual Agent. There is audio on the video. If you cannot hear the audio, please raise your hand and let me know if there is any trouble with the video. So this was the demonstration of the authoring canvas of Power Virtual Agent. And so as you saw on this demonstration, so one thing that again, one common use case of using Power Virtual Agent and conversational bots is typically to answer commonly asked questions. And so it's very typical that you already have a list of FAQs in your organization. Could it be a public documentation or something shared on and hosted on SharePoint Online? So you see that with this feature, we can automatically discover and get the content out of this document and populate the topics and the answer that will be provided when someone asks the question related to this topic. So this is really powerful to populate existing content into the solution and start, even if you start from scratch, you can reuse your existing document to feed into the database. There is no need to train the model. You see that here the question were asked and the question were not directly related to the topic. So basically we have the notion of trigger phrases. So trigger phrases are nothing more than example of how you think customer and users will ask a typical question to reach a specific topic. And so you can add multiple questions being example, but the user doesn't have to type exactly this question to reach and get access to this topic. And so this is possible because we have natural language processing in place. And so this is how AI will recognize the intent and understand what is the topic and the information you are trying to access and you are looking for. And here we give an example of connector. So we have not been into the details of Power Automate. I will do a demonstration a bit later, but Power Automate is the way that you will connect external data sources. Could it be a service node backend or ACP backend? So one of the connectors that we have. And so Power Automate will do the connection between Power Virtual Agent on one side into a topic and some data sources onto an existing backend. Okay, so all of those is really easy to implement using the authoring Canva, and you can be up and running in a minute or very rapidly, and you don't need to be a developer or an expert of bots to deliver this experience. I'm taking a small break here just to see if there is any question that people want to ask so far. I'm not seeing anything in the chat, but if you want to raise your hand or speak up loud, don't hesitate to do so. All right. So moving forward, so what has been demonstrated so far? So is the what has been demonstrated so far is what is available into production. So everything is ready and available in production. You go to Power Virtual Agent and you find exactly these capabilities. But PVA is also a solution that is evolving, and we announced a couple of weeks ago the integration of 2 new AI capabilities into Power Virtual Agent. These 2 capabilities are available in public preview. This means that you can also access this environment, and I will show you how to access these capabilities. One of them is Copilot. So Copilot is something you have seen into other products, being Viva, being Azure, being Dynamics 365 and other services that we provide. And Copilot will be here to help you build the topics in the authoring canvas. So basically, instead of creating the flow yourself, you will just tell PVA in Copilot what you want, and the flow will be automatically created for you. And the Boost Conversation is another feature where you will just provide the URL of an existing content, typically a website that contains all the information that is available, and then just provide this URL, this single URL, PVA will be able to search through this content and answer the question from the user, just providing one URL. So you don't have to feed anything into the database. It will be activated with just a click of a button. And this is what I will demonstrate to you right now. So I will now share my screen instead of PowerPoint. So here I am on Power Virtual Agent. So the URL will be, it's a powervirtualagent.microsoft.com, right? So this is how you access this portal. And this is where you find the chatbots. And I will create a new chatbot just to show you. So during the first video and the first demonstration, the demonstration was done on the build for production version. So this is where you will find the capabilities to suggest topics. What I will demonstrate now is the preview versions that contain what we call the unified canvas. And this is what I will use now. I've got already a bot that is available using this preview version. And this is a support center bot. So as we demonstrated on the video, you will find exactly the same notion of topics, right? So the topics are here. And as part of the topic, let's take the store location one. Topics are based on trigger phrases, and then you see the workflow and all the conditions, and then you have the answer provided to the user. Okay. So if I ask a question like how to install Microsoft 365, and if I ask a question and the bot does not have the answer, basically the bot will ask the user to rephrase the question, right? And if the question is asked multiple times, if the bot does not find the answer to a question, it will trigger a specific workflow, which is the escalation workflow. So and then the bot will offer to escalate to a human being, typically connected via Dynamics 365 or any other partner platform. What I will do now is to use the Boost capability, the Boost Conversation capability of Power Virtual Agent. So I go to Settings and then AI Capabilities, and here I will select Boost Conversation, and I need to provide the URL of a website. So typically here I will provide directly the URL of the Microsoft.com support website, right? So this is where you will find all the answer to the question related to typically Microsoft 365 in our case. So I just copy paste this URL. This is all I've got to do. And then I say, there is nothing to do except that. And then now let's me ask the same question, how to install Microsoft, or maybe let's make it more precise. What are the first 3 steps to install Microsoft 365? And you see here that I'm not writing Office in full word or Microsoft in full word, just say M365. And I'm a bit more precise. I'm asking for the 3 steps. So I'm just asking the system to identify steps and guide me. Oh, can I help me to rephrase the steps? Install Microsoft 365. This is every time what we call the demo effect. If you played with technologies like ChatGPT and this type of conversational AI, you know that the model is generating an answer based on the context and the understanding. So sometimes the system find an answer, and sometimes there is some randomness in the system, and so you don't have exactly this answer. So here, the answer, so you see that just activating this URL, now the bot has the capability to answer because it's using the content on all this website to find the information that I'm looking for. And so here I've got an answer: to install Microsoft 365, please follow the steps outlined in this article. And when I click there, I will be directly redirected to the web page where the information is provided. Okay. So you see that with the boost conversation here, you don't have to do anything else. Instead, just provide the URL where the content already exists, and this could be an entire website. In that case, it's the website of the Microsoft support. The only requirement is to have the website indexed and found by Microsoft Bing, but we'll support pages hosted on SharePoint very soon. This has already been announced. Okay. The second capability that I wanted to show and demonstrate to you today is the Copilot. So here on the preview version, when you create a new topic, you have the Create with Copilot preview. So I will create a new topic. So I just provide the name of the topic, and then I will provide a scenario. So let me copy paste that, create, and let's all check the content of the scenario. So here what I've pasted is that I'm asking Copilot to create a new topic with this title, and the workflow should do the following. Please send a welcome message, add 2 variations of the question. So basically you will have some randomness to the question that will be asked and the welcome message that will be sent. The bot should ask for article that needs support, and there is a list of items that I provide: desktop computer, laptop computer, and gaming computer. I'm asking for the description of the problem. I'm asking for the closest store location so that my customer can go and deposit the item to this location. And then I've added a condition: if the store is California, please do that. And then I ask to summarize the information to the user in a specific format that is not only text, but an adaptive card format, which is like a specific semantic with a JSON format. So it's a technical format, and I'm just asking, please create an adaptive card, right? So if I look at the output of that, so here I've got an error message. That's fine. Because what Copilot does is trying to implement what I'm asking into a workflow. And we see that the workflow has been generated. Copilot will tell you, this is what you ask, and this is what I understood, and this is what I prepared for you. Copilot is not doing everything for you. I think you heard that multiple times when we present the technology. Copilot is your assistant, right? So it doesn't mean that you do not have to review the content. It doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It means that it's an assistant to help you do things much faster. And you see that here I've just wrote my expectation, and the workflow has been automatically generated. So based on the title of the content, the key phrases have been automatically generated. I don't have to generate that. It has been automatically generated. I can still edit and change if I don't like the sentences, or if I want to add new patterns, but I've got a baseline already available. Then I will send a message with 2 variations as I ask. I have a multiple choice question with the 3 items that I define. I will ask the question about the problem description, about the store location. And here there is a mistake. This is why I had the error. So here California is not understood correctly. That's fine. I just delete California, and I just write it in full text. Okay, so this is fixed. I send a message, and then I send this so-called adaptive card. So you see that an adaptive card is like a pretty complex structure because it's a JSON definition on how to format the message. So now I save my bot, and let's do a test. So the bot is saved, and you see that it's very, very easy and convenient because you have the authoring canvas on one side, and then you can test your bot right away. So here I will just pick off the trigger phrase. I'm asking for opening a support request, so it's repairing. So I need to repair my computer. So you see that the topic is now triggered. I need to repair my desktop computer. What is the problem? So let's write something down as the definition of the problem. My PC is broken, blah, blah, blah. Location, let's say Seattle. And I'm done. In here, I've got a recap. This is an adaptive card format. I don't really like the format. It's not really nice. So if you want to make it better, we have the adaptive card designer. So this is, again, a designer and an assistant to help you design this adaptive card. So this is another format that I prefer. So I want to send my summary to the user using this format. So with the description, the item, and the location. So here is again, I drag and drop to create my card, and then I've got the definition of the card just below. So I will just copy paste this information, and I go back to my bot, and here in this section, I will just replace by the new definition of the card, right? I save. And then I just want to repair my laptop. Right. It's my laptop this time. I describe the problem, and I will say California for the location. Okay, and you see that now the look is a bit better, right? So I changed things. Again, Copilot provided a suggestion. I don't like it. I can change it, right? As easy as it is. So what we have seen here is that you can create a FAQ bot like in no time with the conversation boost. You just have to provide the URL. Public content is supported as long as you can index it via Bing, or you can use some content hosted on SharePoint. This will be provided very soon. You see that it accelerates a lot the time it takes for you to build a workflow. You just have to tell Copilot what you need, and then you just fix or you improve the suggestion that has been provided, and you are ready to go. So it really accelerates the time it takes to deliver and build bots. Okay.
Alexis.
Yeah.
We have a good question here on the chat. Can we work with the bot framework composer with these new features, Copilot and Boost?
So yes and no. So basically, the bot composer was used in the past as an extension to extend the capabilities of PVA. Okay, and so typically in the past, if you had to send an adaptive card via PVA, you had to create a specific topics using the bot composer. And so this is when what we call a more pro developer profile who had to come was and to create this workflow and then publish this new topic so that the end user could use it. We have facilitated that experience because now adaptive cards are natively supported in the authoring Canva, and we provide more advanced tools to do more advanced things, right? So we have PowerFX as a programming language as part of PVA, and so you can still use Composer, but there is less use cases where you will need and require to use it. Okay, so we are simplifying the experience using AI. So Copilot is only for PVA. Copilot is not available in Bot Composer. And now we are trying to, facilitate the experience so that you don't have to use Composer, but you can still do it. Okay. Is there any other question? Okay. Next demo. So I'm switching now to another environment. So now the objective will be so you are happy with your bot, everything has been tested, and you are fine with what's happening once you see into PVA. As I said, one of the features that is provided with Power Virtual Agent is the capability to deploy the solution to multiple channels. One of the main and very popular channel is Microsoft Teams. Okay, so let's see how we will do that. So one thing I will recommend that is very as well common for Microsoft Teams is when you go under security and authentication, you have multiple options. So by default, the bot does not require any authentication. So basically, once you publish the bot, anyone that has the URL to access the bot can interact with it and ask questions and use the bot. This is something that most of the customers do not want to do. They prefer to protect and authenticate users before they access the bot. So you can use your own authentication system based on Azure Active Directory or any OAuth provider, right? So you can bring your own authentication provider. There is no problem with that. Or you can just click on only for Teams. With that, only Microsoft Teams will be supported and only users coming from Microsoft Teams will be able to use the bot. So it's very convenient to activate two things. One, secure the bot to be only available in Teams. Two, make sure that people are authenticated via Teams when they access your bot. Okay, so that you can even get their first name, identity, and everything that you need to process the request. So authentication only for Microsoft Teams. The second part is to go to publishing. So once you have the bot ready, the security in place, you click on publish. This will make the bot available not only into your dev environment, but it will be published on a production URL that can be accessed and used into the different channels. Okay. Step number 3, you go under channels. This is where you see all the channels available. As I selected the option only for Teams, you see that none of the channels is available except the Microsoft Teams channel. So I can go there. And this is where I will specify and activate Microsoft Teams. So for now, Teams is not activated. So I need to turn on Teams as a channel. Otherwise, the bot is only available into my dev environment, nowhere else. I can then customize my, wrong button. I wanted to edit the details so that you can customize the bot. So you can change the icon, change the background color, change the title. So the name is changed in another place, but you can change the title, change the description. You can define who can access the bot. So is it for personal use or shared in the Teams as well? And you can even define more information about the developer, the privacy settings, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I will save that. And then in the availability option, this is where you define who can access the bot. So you can download the bot and install it for yourself. You can share with teammates, or you can even publish that in the store of your organization. When you click on this option, you will have the validation of your Teams admin to validate the publication into your store. Okay, let's try to use the bot for ourselves. So here I'm not opening the desktop client. I will use the web client instead. So you see that it's very easy to activate the bot to use Microsoft Teams. 3 steps. 1, activate authentication for Teams only. 2, publish the bot. 3, activate Teams channel. And yeah, it's done. Then you just have to define who can access it if you want to define population that is not only you, but people in your org. So here the bot is already installed. Otherwise, you will have the add button. So here I can add to a team, but you can also add to yourself. It was already added to myself. I will just open the bot. So this is Contoso Insurance, and this is the bot now running into Microsoft Teams. I will just say hello, but you see that the bot is now running into Microsoft Teams. It is pinned, or not pinned, it is installed into my space, and I can even, as I mean, pin the app and deploy the app to the user of my organization. All right, so what we have seen here is that deploying your bot to Teams is something that you can do not in a click, but in 3 clicks. So it's very easy. With that, you by default secure the access. So the user will have to be authenticated. And you see that I've been using the bot in Teams. I am authenticated, but the user didn't have to authenticate at all. So the bot was deployed in Teams. I could say hello, and I didn't have to provide any login password. It's SSO is in place by default, and the bot is secured, and the user is authenticated. Okay, and it's easy to target who can access the bot because you can share the bot with members of your organization or publish the bot into your store. Is there a question? I have a last demonstration. All right. Last one. One of the key features that is asked in a very, very common scenario is when you want the bot to not only respond to custom user requests, but be also proactive and be able to send messages into Microsoft Teams. And so one use case that we'll demonstrate right away that the user will be interacting with the bot from any channel. So basically, you can chat with the bot from Teams or from Slack or from Skype or from whatever platform you like, and then we will send a message to someone that is working to Microsoft Teams. So the bot will proactively send a message to the user using Microsoft Teams. So to implement that, I'm going back to my bot. Here, I go back to my topics, and I've prepared a topic which is notify claim in Teams. So let's have a quick look to this workflow. So here, the trigger phrase will be, I need to open a claim. So I will use the trigger phrase demo claim, but basically here, I've set the trigger phrase so that when I want to open a claim, this will trigger this workflow. I will ask the question to the user, is it a claim about your car insurance, your health insurance, or your pet insurance? Then I will ask for more details. No, sorry, based on the answer that I've got, I will ask an additional question. So if it is a car, I will ask if the user needs a courtesy vehicle for the time of the repairing of the vehicle. I will then set a claim ID. So here I set that like manually, but you could query an external system to get the ID and provide the ID dynamically. And then I will confirm that the claim has been registered, and I will push and publish and send a message to the team in charge of the customer claims, and this team is directly working into Microsoft Teams. Sorry. And so as you saw in the video before, here the action will go and use a Power Automate flow. So let's go and see what the Power Automate flow looks like. So when you create a Power Automate flow that is called from Power Virtual Agent, there are two actions, or one trigger and one return value that is provided by default. So one is the trigger, and the trigger will be Power Virtual Agent. This is this trigger that makes the workflow available into Power Automate. And here you define all the variables that you expect as inputs. Okay, and thanks to this information, you will be able to map these variables into PVA. So this is one thing, the inputs, and then the outputs, which is something that you want to bring and send back to Power Virtual Agent. Typically, you want to provide the, if you want to query a system on SAP and get an item, then you can bring this, send this item and item ID back to PVA and provide that to the user into PVA. So what we do here is that I get all the information about the claim. So I have the claim ID, the claim type, the claim details. I will search for all the members in my Azure Active Directory that are in charge of managing customer claims. So I will get the group ID that is called claims support, and there is a list of users that is my support team in charge of the claims. And then for every unique user that is in the Microsoft 365 group, I will post and send a message to the user in Teams. So here I'm using this connector. I will post the connector as a flow bot, but I can also send the message as being my Power Virtual Agent bot, right? So you have the option to use Power Automate or your virtual agent to send the message, right? And then the format that you can use is an adaptive card format. So the same way I created a format before, you can create and use the adaptive card format to send the message. And the recipient will be typically the value that you get from the list of user in the group. So you take the email address of every unique user of the group. Very simple flow, trigger, list of member, and for each member, I send a message. So let's test this flow. Let's do demo claim. So I want to open a request for my car insurance. Can you provide a description? Yes. Do you need a courtesy vehicle? Yes, I do. Your claim is now registered under the number, blah, blah, blah. So this is the message that is sent to my user. And if I go back to Microsoft Teams, now I've got this icon and say that I receive a message, and if I go under Power Automate, and again, I could have sent that under directly my bot. Here I receive this message. So claim number has been received. Please process the following claim for car insurance. So this is an information I got from the user. This is a description I got from the user. And do I need a courtesy car? Yes, I do need to book a car for my customer. Okay, and you can implement this pattern to send proactive messages in Teams exactly the same way. If you want to investigate more and see how to implement that and the different ways to implement this proactive notification, there is an article published on how to implement proactive notification in Microsoft Teams using Power Automate or Azure Logic App. You can read that and implement this solution. They are all documented, and you can do exactly the same on your side. Okay. So here what we have seen is how to send notification using PVA in addition to Power Automate. And so this is how you can send a notify user and send proactive notification. There are other use cases. You want to remind a task. You want to send an information to someone. You want to notify on a feature. You want to send a to-do, a reminder. There are many, many use cases for proactive notification, and combined with your bot, this gives an additional flexibility so that you can both answer questions but also be proactive and push messages to your users. And so as a wrap up, as you have seen, Power Virtual Agent is really a solution that will help you and accelerate the time it takes to build a bot. The use cases for bots, there are a lot of use cases for bots. Most of the time it's around frequently asked questions, but you can also automate your processes. Power Virtual Automate is a very good tool for all the process automation. And combined with PVA, PVA provides the human interface so that you can get the answer from the user in a natural language. And then based on that, you can trigger workflows using Power Automate and be integrated to your system to trigger action even on your backend and your information system. So with PVA, you have all that built in. You don't have to manage the solution. You have an authoring canvas to make it easy. You can extend the capabilities using Copilot or the bot composer that we mentioned earlier, so that pro developers can provide features to PVA. And you have all the monitoring and dashboarding available so that you understand what are the most frequently asked questions, how do my topics perform, what is the quality of my service, and so on and so forth. Okay.